seek to stay progress.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 million man.
Hey, this is Bob Backlund. Hey, everyone, this is Rick Steiner.
This is the Honky Tonk Man, the greatest WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time.
This is your wrestling show, Ottawa.
Heck, they could use you guys over in WWE.
You're listening to the greatest wrestling show in the whole wide world.
This is Wrestling with Ideas.
Back inside the CKDJ studios right here for Wrestling with Ideas on CKDJ 1079, Ottawa's new music. Of course, I am the music man, Colin Scully, and alongside me this week,
it's me, that D-O-double-G. Well, actually, it's not. It's the man with no excuses, Jonathan Skuse.
Now, before we get into talking about this week, what happened this past week, I'm going to let you guys know about what's going on later on in the show, sort of going forward in the next couple of weeks and so on and so forth. We're going to be going back. We're actually going to be uploading this episode at some point tonight. As we're recording this, I'm going to be uploading it before we broadcast it on the radio show, just to see how that goes for a couple of weeks and go from there. As well, we're going to be bringing back the WrestlingWithIdeas.com website, where you can read some of my written pay-per-views as well as old TV reviews. I'm going to be going in I'm going to be going in series of 10 episodes and kind of see how storylines are developing and whatnot. And as well, we're going to be getting a chance to read more of John's articles and John's editorials and so to speak.
Yeah, there's one on the website right now, and there's another one coming soon, I hear.
There is.
Of course I would hear that. I'm the one who wrote it. Aha.
So we're going to be talking about that. It kind of ties into a match that happened on Sunday.
Sunday. All In was not on Sunday, my dear Scully. It was a Saturday pay-per-view.
That is right.
You get that WWE stuff out of your ears. We're talking All In right now.
We're talking All In. So let's just go through sort of the match card here. We'll start with the first match that happened on the pre-show. We had SoCal, 2/3 of SoCal Uncensored, those being Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, defeating the Briscoe brothers in a straight-up tag match. What did you think about here? What did you think about this?
I mean, it was a good match. I thought the Briscoe brothers were going to win because, I might just be because I'm a fan of them, but yeah, I thought the Briscoe brothers were going to win.
Yep. I honestly thought I didn't have a chance to see the pre-show there because I was actually here at the station board hopping a hockey game that went terribly, terribly wrong. But all that aside, I thought that it served its purpose here. Of course, before this match here, we had one of our first celebrity/legend wrestling appearances from Road Warrior Animal. Of course, him being a Chicago native, he came out on the motorcycle and he did whatever he did.
Rush.
Of course, you can't talk about the Road Warriors without doing that impression. Up next, we had the 19-man over-budget battle royal to determine the number one contender for the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Before you tell everybody who won it, I want to tell you guys, if you guys haven't seen All In, Flip Gordon, all right, he was unmasked to be the business bear. He was the business bear all along.
It was me, Cody.
It was me, Cody. But yeah, no, Battle Royal, Flip Gordon won the All-In Battle Royal. And there was a whole whack of ex-WWE and hot indie talent. To name a few, we had Chucky T, Moose, Cheeseburger was there, Hurricane was there, Tommy Dreamer was wearing those trunks that he seems to wear every time he's on a show that mentions Dusty Rhodes, if you pay attention to that kind of stuff. Colt Cabana was there. And, of course, the last man eliminated, Bully Ray. Did you think Bully Ray was going to beat Flip Gordon to advance?
No.
No, you thought it was Flip all along?
Well, I mean, I didn't... Okay. If you have Flip Gordon as one of the two guys, as one of the last two guys, so to speak, that after him being quote-unquote not booked for as long as he was, only to have him be eliminated last, I think that would be one of the biggest mistakes.
By a guy who is sort of on and off retired as well.
Agreed, yeah. I don't know. I think it was a good decision. Of course, we'll talk about his match later on that night as well. First match on the main show had Son of Havoc, also known as Matt Cross, defeating
MJF. Well, he may be better than us, but he's not better than Matt Cross.
How do you think he feels about the loss to Son of Havoc there?
I think he still feels better than Havoc himself.
I think most people would feel that they.
Well, I don't know about that, but we all know how MJF feels. He's better than all of us.
He is. Christopher Daniels, accompanied by the rest of SoCal Uncensored, defeated Stephen Amell with Josh Segarra. Now, I'm going to go off. This is the first match that I actually got home in time to watch the full thing. Stephen Amell, he got his shit in within the first 2 minutes, and for the rest of the match, which lasted 12 minutes and 30 seconds, he looked exhausted.
He did look exhausted, but he's also an actor, like a David Arquette was. So he actually held his own for going 12 minutes, especially for I don't want to call him a newer guy because he's taken more bumps than I have, but he did go through a table, and he's probably not doing those every day.
Right.
But something I want to say about this match real quick is that our referee for this match was none other than the newly appointed whole reffin' show, Jerry Lynn. And I just want to say something about Jerry Lynn real quick. I think it's great that in the middle of this match, while trying to defend Stephen Amell's honor, he ripped off his ref shirt and tried to instigate a fight with Christopher Daniels. WWE, take notes.
When was the last time we actually had a good angle with a ref?
When Earl Hebner was working for the company.
Earl Hebner?
Because if you remember him, as we see him later on, he did screw Brett.
Earl Hebner screwed Brett?
He was the ref. He screwed Brett.
Brett screwed Brett.
Next match on the card, we had a fatal four-way featuring
Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard, and I believe Tully was there as well.
Tully was there alongside Magnum TA.
If you could believe that.
Of
and
course.
we also had that wacky Chelsea Green seen hanging out with Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder not seen at all in. Also, we had Madison Rayne and Britt Baker. Now, I must be honest here, I had no idea who Britt Baker was watching this.
I don't think many people did.
I'm also a little unfamiliar with Madison Rayne, but I do know of Tessa Blanchard and Chelsea Green, and I thought this was a great match.
Right. Now, for those of you guys who are like John and don't really know who Madison Rayne
I've
is.
seen her work before.
You've seen her work. She's most recently back when in her last stint with TNA, I think it's 6 times that she's held the women's championship. 5 times, my bad.
Knockouts?
5-time
is that what they call it?
knockouts,
The
Impact Knockouts Championship. She was a 2-time TNA Knockouts Tag Championship tag holder. Now, the only thing here with Madison Rayne, her gimmick was that she wasn't made to be a wrestler, yada yada yada. But then whenever she was champion, everyone on commentary put her over. Now it doesn't help that the commentators in her second stint of one of the commentators was actually her husband, Josh Matthews. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about that match before we go on to
Josh Matthewsing over to, as we were talking about, Earl Hebner. Special guest referee in this match, Cody with the Nightmare Family, which is something I was completely new to. For those of you who are like me and also do not know, the Nightmare Family consists of his wife, Brandy Rhodes, his godfather-like character, it's DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. Also the guy, a.k.a. the innovator of violence, Mr. Hardcore, Tommy Dreamer. And Nick Aldis in this match, he also had some friends that I did not see coming.
Right. But before, you forgot one very important person.
Oh, yeah, I totally wrote him off, as did most of WCW. The Nightmare Family also has this additional member. You might know him from WCW as Glacier, that Sub-Zero knockoff.
Right.
But also, as we were saying about Nick Aldis, the current NWA champion. He had some friends with him, Scully. Why don't you tell the listeners who they were?
Well, there was Sam Shaw, who used to wrestle in TNA and does the narration for the 10 Pounds of Gold videos. You had Sean Daivari, Tim Storm, and Double J.
That's JEFFJARRET.
Jeff Jarrett.
It was a good match. It was a little long for my liking, just the way that it was put together. But the finish was, as I was texting my friend while I was watching this match, he said, "Oh, shocking news, the promoter won."
Yeah.
No, we had Cody Rhodes going over and winning the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Had a really good finish, I find.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a British Bulldog finish, I think people were calling it.
Yeah, I would call it that as well. The only thing I thought was missing from this match is that they can't get everything they want. I thought Nick Aldis should have had Mickey James with him, but of course, being in WWE and that being All In, I don't think WWE would have liked that very much.
No.
Speaking of stuff the WWE wouldn't like very much, the guy who lost in this next match is somebody that the WWE probably doesn't have their eye on right now because of the way he behaves.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, I'm talking about that bad boy Joey Janela. He had a match with Adam Page.
In a Chicago street fight. Now, a bit of a backstory before we get into what happened during this match is there's some interesting things that happened after the match that actually tie into what happened before. So before this thing, Hangman Page was feuding with Joey Ryan. It got to the point where Joey Ryan was killed by Hangman Page when Hangman Page bashed him over the head with a phone. Hangman Page continued to have nightmares to the point where his boots were talking to him. Of course, Penelope Ford also played a heavy part in this match, moving on to the match itself. Penelope Ford looked great.
She did. She looked really good.
She pulled off some spots there that I didn't think I would see. But mid-match, she went under the ring and she pulled out a bag, John.
A bag?
A bag. There was a black bag. It was a black garbage bag that I think it was actually Hangman that pulled it out from under the ring.
Was it Mick Foley's old bag of thumbtacks?
It was not. It was a bag that contained the talking boots.
No, not the talking boots. Wrestling can be so silly sometimes.
I know. And after Hangman Page defeated Joey Janela with, I think it was like a Samoan drop through a table or something like that.
It was through a table, all right.
He went through the table. Then all of a sudden, after his hand was raised in victory, the lights go out. And we hear Undertaker-esque sort of pre-gong music.
Yep.
And then the lights went out. Fog started coming up. And we saw druids.
No, not quite druids.
Well, a bunch of guys came out in penis costumes.
Yep.
And
that was the thing that happened.
The porn star himself, Joey Ryan.
For those of you who are not big indie guys, Joey Ryan is a wrestler whose gimmick is he suplexes you with his genitals. So yeah, we had Joey Ryan come out with his doing a little fake Undertaker thing, which I thought was a little bit of a weird thing because if I was Joey Ryan and I got to imitate the Undertaker, I think I would come out on a motorcycle a la American Badass Undertaker, except the motorcycle is in the shape of a giant penis with two wheels. I like Joey Ryan, but I don't like his gimmick. I don't like the fact that he has to make his opponents touch his junk in order for them to lose. But other than that, he's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. He's been pulling this for quite a while. He's been pulling sort of like this.
It's definitely a successful gimmick.
He's been pulling the sleaze bag thing since like 2012 when he was with TNA.
Candice LeRae wasn't in NXT.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, moving on.
Not NXT next match. We had the Macho Man Randy. No, it wasn't. It was Black Machismo, Jay Lethal.
Of course, accompanied to the ring by the Genius, also known as Leapin' Lanny Poffo. And now, for those of you who don't really know the backstory behind this, Lanny Poffo was Macho Man's brother. And he, spoiler alert, he defeated Flip Gordon, of course, accompanied by Brandy Rhodes, to retain the Ring of Honor World Championship. Now, John, do you think they made the right move here in having Jay Lethal retain, or do you think it would have been a smarter idea to have Flip Gordon go all the way and win?
They made this. I think they made the smart move for Jay Lethal to retain. I can't say I see Flip Gordon being heavyweight championship material right away.
No.
But he'd definitely work into it. I think he's a good workhorse guy, and he seems to have a lot of fun. But when you put him next to Jay Lethal, I think if you want to take Jay Lethal as a serious champion, he has to defeat somebody like Flip Gordon.
That's true. Up next, we've got
Match of the night.
Yep. And not for the reason that you may think. We've got Kenny Omega defeating Pentagon Dark, Pentagon Jr., whatever the hell you want to call him.
El Zero Muerte.
Isn't it Miedo?
Sure. Anyways, something I want to say about this match is, Colin, you know how he does his Zero Muerto chant or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of an NXT or maybe a past feud that could have happened. My indie isn't that good. With that guy and Adam Cole going back and forth with the Zero Muerto and Adam Cole, baby. That was the first thing I thought of whenever I saw that little thing that he does with the crowd. Is I'm like, he should do that against someone like with an Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, no, baby. Yeah, no.
Bah. But yes, getting back onto the match, Kenny Omega and Penta El Zero Muerte, whatever he had us. He's the Lucha. He's really good.
That crazy guy from Impact.
I don't usually give matches 7 stars, so I won't. I'll give this match 5 stars across the board. It was fantastic.
Now, of course, this wasn't the only time that the matches went out. The lights went out.
Yeah,
of course,
then again, that's to be expected when you have a show like this. Like, it's all in. It's their first time. They're not very good at, they're not very good, but they're not very experienced when it comes to television broadcasts. But the lights come back on, and where did the tattoos on Pentagon's arm go after the lights came back on, Scully?
I don't know, but it's almost like the guy that was in the ring wasn't actually Pentagon.
And it wasn't, and it was Kenny Omega, and he just made the list.
That's right, Chris Jericho, of course, it wasn't announced that it was Chris Jericho, but he started beating the crap out of Kenny Omega. Then,
see you on the cruise at Jericho. Oh my goodness. And he wasn't even supposed to be there, and hours after that, he was in Kansas City playing a set with Fozzy. Chris Jericho is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time.
Right.
It didn't add anything to the match being 5 stars, but the fact they're still going with this Kenny Omega Chris Jericho thing, I think New Japan Intercontinental Champion.
Kenny Omega?
Omega.
Yeah. Two belt champion, I guess, or something? Or?
Maybe. We'll see what happens, but it'll definitely be a nice champion versus champion match. I wouldn't be surprised if Omega drops it, and then Jericho Omega 3 is for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the longest match of the night coming in at 26 minutes and 5 seconds.
It was all right.
I mean, they could have done 10 minutes. That way the Young Bucks would have had more time in their match. But Kazuchika Okada defeated Marty Scurll. It was okay.
The whole thing was they were really ramping up that Marty Scurll is a junior heavyweight,
yeah.
And he's trying to move up to heavyweight champion or something like that. They were really stressing that in the match.
I don't see it.
And as we know, Okada was a heavyweight champion.
Right.
So they were really pushing that, the fact that Scurll is not a heavyweight against Okada. Although if you look at them and you squint a little, they're the same size.
Right. Now, they're the same size in terms of weight, but Okada beside Marty Scurll, like standing beside each other, Okada looks like he's 7 feet tall.
Oh yeah, standing. No, I meant like talent-wise.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
And especially when it comes to championships, you can't count out Party Marty.
No.
Partying on to the next segment. If we didn't mention again, because Okada defeated Marty Scurll. It was a very long, but it was a efficient match. Sufficient match, I should say.
It was the match that this. We'll talk about the whole match, the whole show later on, just a bit later. The Okada Scurll match is probably the best wrestling oriented, just pure.
Yes. They had lots of that. Like the NWA was to me it was a little boring, but it was a good story match for building up a story.
But this Okada Scurll match was a great just straight up wrestling match.
Yeah. Speaking of matches, the next match
and the last match,
the Golden Elite of Matt and Nick Jackson and somebody I didn't even know was in the Golden Elite.
Kota Ibushi? That's why they're fucking golden.
I guess.
Kota Ibushi is the golden star.
I thought Kenny Omega dyed his hair so he could be the Golden Elite.
No.
Okay.
No. It's the Golden Lovers that are Okada that are Ibushi and Omega.
See, shows what I know about New Japan. But it was a great match. They had their opponents, of course, were Rey Mysterio, Rey Fenix,
and Bandito.
I'm not very familiar with Bandito, Scully.
The first thing that I thought when Bandito came out was, holy shit, is that Neville?
No.
It looked like Neville.
No.
No?
Not buying it.
No?
Not buying it, man.
Okay.
I also missed this match. I kind of fell asleep.
Yeah, I mean, It was.
I saw the entrances, and then I think I got up and did something, and because this match was only 11 minutes long,
Yeah.
I must have picked up my phone or my Switch, I must have missed it.
Right. I had seen a tweet on Twitter saying that Rey Mysterio's ring gear made him look like the Wolverine that
Yes.
you would hire at your kid's birthday party or something
Yes,
like
but
that.
I think that was the point. I think Rey Mysterio, he's just doing it like he knows that he's going to WWE soon, and I think he's just seeing what he can get away with before he goes. And if childish ring gear is what he wants to get away with, let him have his fun.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably only got another couple runs in him at the most.
Exactly. I don't know how far we're going to see him, like the highest he'll reach in WWE when he comes back, but
He'll probably go to 205 Live and be like, he'll probably run like a manager's gimmick where he's like, what the hell are you doing? And talking to the Lucha Dragons or the Lucha House Party or whatever it is.
The Lucha Dragon Party.
Sure.
Super Dragon. Super Dragoning over to a commercial break. We'll see you on the other side.
You're listening to Wrestling with Ideas. CKDJ Studios right here for Wrestling with Ideas on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music. I am the music man, Colin Scully, alongside me.
Diamond Dallas Page? No, it's me. It's the man with no excuses.
Now, of course, we've got to talk about Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. So kicking things off here.
Raw
with-
was in Ohio this week.
at the Ohio State University.
Something Buckeyes, something Buckeyes. Shield opened the Shield opened the show.
No, we had
No, we didn't have the Shield. We had Braun Strowman and Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Also, what I would like to call the anti-Shield, or I think is it the Pack that they are being called by the announced team.
Let's go with that.
They seem to use the word Pack a lot.
The Pack, the Wolf Pack.
No, not the Wolf Pack. Although they are back, who look out.
Yep, I guess we're gonna see what's gonna happen with them. Anyways, of course, right now we've got the Shield.
The Shield, they came out to confront the Pack, and they got, for their troubles, arrested. Did you know what the charges were, Scully?
I did not know what the charges were.
Apparently, according to Baron Corbin and some of that reporter that went to them at the police station, that they said it was for instigating a riot.
Instigating a riot?
Instigating a riot. And the whole thing, that it took the whole locker room to split up this riot, and it ended up with the Shield going to jail. But that wasn't the only riot we'll see tonight. Scully, we had a riot immediately after that, didn't we?
We had a riot because we saw Brie Bella botch not one, but two fucking suicide dives.
Yeah, I'm not a big Bella Twins fan. I think this is just doing nothing. Like, it's not hurting the Riot Squad because, like, I know they've been on a winning streak, but they're also, I think they're kind of expendable right now. They're not really being used in any way.
I don't understand what Ruby Riot's doing. Like, she hasn't wrestled in...
She had an injury, and then she came back, and I think they're maybe just sticking her in that manager who takes a couple hits here and there before they full-fledged give her the green light to go in the ring.
Well, that's fair. Okay. Of course, we're talking about the Bella Twins, who actually, surprisingly, got the win over the Riot Squad.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that, but I can't like everything. But something I do like is a new tag team in the Raw division, Scully.
We got Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Now, Chad Gable makes his first Raw TV appearance in what feels like the first time since the Raw.
Since he got called to Raw.
Since after Money in the Bank.
At least
on TV. He's probably. I did some research. He's been hanging out on Main Event.
Yeah, but I must admit I'm not a real fan. I don't watch Main Event, Scully.
Neither do I.
But the main event, so to speak, is what's going on with Chad Gable and Bobby Roode and not a main event worthy match, but they, however, quickly dispatched Connor and Victor of the Ascension.
Chad Gable, this is where he needs to be. He does need to be in a tag team.
Yes.
But I do think that they are going to be a heel tag team, and hear me out on this as to why. You saw Chad Gable in the ring. You saw that smirk. He's almost like he's trying to figure out whether he's working or still having fun.
Yeah.
And I find Bobby Roode's going to be that guy to show him, Like, of course, Bobby Roode is probably old enough. Not quite old enough. Like, I guess if it was an early pregnancy, then Bobby Roode's probably old enough to be Chad Gable's father.
Yeah, I guess.
But, Bobby Roode is definitely probably one of the better people that they could stick Chad Gable with at this point.
Yeah, they're not really doing anything with Bobby Roode since his U.S. title run, so why not put him in a tag team with somebody who could benefit from his guidance? Although
I think they could probably both benefit from each other, really. You've got Bobby Roode with the in-ring experience that probably has been as long as Chad Gable's been watching wrestling.
Probably.
And then you've got Chad Gable with the Olympic experience.
Yep.
And with sort of the amateur wrestling background that they could sort of... I don't think it's too long before we see Bobby Roode pull a couple German suplexes here and there.
Yep.
Of course, they did beat the Ascension, but moving on, we've got Alexa Bliss defeating
Now,
Natalya.
before
I was going...
No.
I didn't forget Elias.
Don't you dare forget Elias, because as we know, WWE does not stand for Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment.
Well,
WWE stands for Walk with Elias.
Now, after he got interrupted again
by another hometown female, that one being Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss comes out and she pulls another one of those promos where she starts off almost being the face and then says, fuck it,
I'm the heel.
She pulls, I think it was like the OHIO.
Yep.
And then she goes...
Because she used to be a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she goes, I hate this city. I hate this... I hate this province, but then I realized
I hate this state. I know that Elias does too, so go ahead and sing your song, Elias.
And then she almost cozies up to Elias.
Which would have been awesome for something we're going to talk about later, Mixed Match Challenge Season 2. Two. Like Sid Vicious, 2. But not like Sid Vicious. Actually, somebody who's beaten her uncle and her father, Sid Vicious is. Natalya comes out to confront Alexa Bliss. Of course, who's with Natalya these days? The Raw Women's Champion.
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda freaking Rousey. But the funny part about this match is, Scully, what would you say Ronda Rousey is most famous for?
The UFC.
And what did she do in UFC that she's so good at that she's famous for?
Kicked ass?
Nope. Kicking ass is one of those things, but there's something else.
Oh, the armbar.
Armbar, that's right. Alexa Bliss won this match with an armbar, rubbing this in Rousey's face. They have a match at Hell in a Cell.
Inside Hell in a Cell, I think, as well.
Now, on to the next segment, which I thought was the highlight of Raw. We had this match we were supposed to have after a couple weeks of the Revival getting their last tag team opportunity from the B team up until Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre come walking up to Baron Corbin and says, hey, we're a pretty good tag team. I think we should get a tag team opportunity. And Baron Corbin says, nuh-uh, the Revival has a tag team opportunity tonight. And, of course, we're going to call them the Pack here. They said, okay, what happens if something happens to the Revival? Well, I guess it's fair game. B team, go, go, go. B team comes to the ring. And then the Revival's music hits. Nothing. The Revival's music hits twice. Psych, no it doesn't. It's Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre.
After a backstage assault.
Wham, boom. Sorry, B-Team, you got squashed. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, new Raw Tag Team Champions. And new Raw Tag Team Champions.
Yep.
Speaking of tag teams, what's the next segment about, Scully?
We've got Authors of Pain defeating Keith Thompson and Jimmy James, of course, local enhancement talent. But the Authors of Pain have a new manager.
Yeah, and I'll give you a hint. He's way shorter than all of them, and it's not Paul Heyman.
It is not. It is, of course, Drake Maverick.
Drake, freaking manager of 205 Live. Sorry, WWE, don't watch that show either. But Drake Maverick is the new manager, which doesn't make any sense. So at some point, there has to be a heel turn with the entire cruiserweight division running over AOP. Otherwise, I don't get it.
Now, see, what I think is going to happen is Drake Maverick is going to turn, well, Drake Maverick probably turns heel here.
Yes.
But, as punishment, he's still going to be general manager of 205 Live for another couple months, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And then if somebody screws up, let's say in,
A la Teddy
in lieu
Long?
of a suspension,
Am I getting Teddy Long vibe here?
you're putting cruiserweights in a tag team match against the Authors of Pain.
Much like a SmackDown Teddy Long would say, "Playa, tonight you go one-on-one with The Undertaker." Speaking of The Undertaker, we had a segment about the upcoming Super Show match between Triple H and The Undertaker, and we got somebody's opinion. Whose opinion did we get? I think his name is HBK, Shawn freaking Michaels Scully. Tell us about this segment, man.
So Shawn Michaels comes out to the ring after being, I think it was it announced the week before or was it announced 2 weeks ago?
I think it was announced the week before.
The week before, that he would be making his return to talk about this match, obviously. In this match, he almost seemed to be saying, hey, Undertaker, love ya, but you're getting your ass kicked by Triple H last time.
Pretty much Shawn Michaels said if this was WrestleMania, The Undertaker would win, but it's not. So he's putting his money on Triple H. But in a twist that I didn't see coming, and I sometimes look at dirt sheets, so you know I didn't see this coming, The Undertaker was on Raw. He came out, and without the Joey Ryan inflatable penises too.
And without Druids in general, actually.
He came out and cut this really badass promo on Shawn Michaels, and they went back and forth.
I mean, it doesn't help that Shawn Michaels didn't sound all that good on the mic this
No,
time.
he sounded like he hasn't been talking into a microphone for a while, but then again, he hasn't.
No.
But at the same time, he was able to get his points in, and the whole thing was like, you watch The Undertaker talk about how he's putting down Triple H right in front of Shawn Michaels' face, and you're thinking that he's either going to be the special ref in this match, that WWE is going to do something to get Shawn Michaels wrestling again.
Right. Now, of course, we've got a couple more segments here. We've got Sasha Banks and Bayley defeating Ember Moon and Dana Brooke.
Guess
Now,
what? Dana Brooke is no longer a part of Titus Worldwide.
Doesn't surprise me. They'll find somebody else.
They'll find a new accountant.
They will. We had Kevin Owens crashing Bobby Lashley in Jinder Mahal's meditation session.
My man!
Nothing else to say there. Kevin Owens is back.
Yeah, that is the something else to say there was that Kevin Owens quit, but he's still popping up. So keep an eye out for Kevin Owens on your scheduled programming.
And in the main event, we had Braun Strowman defeating Finn Balor.
Ha!
Of course, the Raw locker room attacked the Shield.
Well, of course, spoiler alert, the Shield came back in the police cruiser driven by Roman Reigns, which raises an excellent point. Does Roman Reigns really care about his Shield brothers if he was driving and they had to sit in the back where they keep the criminals?
No, he's going to be the guy that fucks it up again.
He's going to be the guy that turns on the Shield this time. But no, the Shield came out, and then all the heels in the locker room, as well as Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, because they're buddy-buddy with Braun Strowman at the moment, came out and just beat down the Shield.
Right. Of course, there was a joke, actually, that you had mentioned that you wanted to tell.
Yes, when we were talking about the tag team division, I was thinking about something here. We were talking about All In. We were talking about the Revival. What does the Young Bucks and the Revival have? No, that's not it. What does the Young Bucks and Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler have to do in common? Fuck the Revival.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we should edit that joke.
We probably, I don't know.
Edit me saying this. Don't edit it. Smacking over to What Down? Andrade Cien Almas and, Selena Vega. They had a little confrontation with Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Brie Bella pulling double duty. Brie, what show are you on?
I don't know, but it looks like she was on something.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on Monday night. Anyways, Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan come out and they start talking about Miz and Maurice. Of course, there was a video pack that came up while
It was about Almas.
the A-list couple. No. The first one had the A-listers, of course, the Miz and Maurice, come out to an empty arena to challenge Brie and Bryan to a match, or they called them out more or less. Of course, Brie and Bryan weren't there because no one was there except for the A-list couple. But then, before Bryan and Bella could react, they were interrupted by the It couple. No, they weren't interrupted by the It couple. They were interrupted by the other couple on SmackDown, of course, that being Andrade and Zelina.
No, there's another couple you're thinking about. It's Lana and Rusev. Now you can carry on.
All right, of course, sorry. Happy Rusev Day.
Rusev Day.
Lana is the best. Lana is the best. Lana number one.
Number one in this match, Daniel Bryan defeating Andrade. Next.
Naomi defeating Peyton Royce.
Now, the Iconics are still doing their awful promos, but I think that is their gimmick.
No.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, you.
Oh!
No.
Naomi!
Naomi's shoes, as Booker T would say.
Yep. Of course, up next we have Samoa Joe come out.
We're not looking at his shoes.
Oh, Wendy!
Oh, Joe, whenever you give that guy a microphone, you're always in for a treat.
It was
AJ Styles.
I had seen a meme online where it was like, it was the scene from The Shining.
Yep.
And it was Wendy Styles, like the face of Wendy Styles
And he was,
on the
it
girl.
was cut through the door. I let Jack. Oh, Wendy.
Yeah. Of course, AJ Styles comes out and beats the crap out of Samoa Joe.
Who
again.
can blame him?
Nobody, really.
In the triple threat for the tag team who determines who faces the Bar to determine who faces the New Day for the tag team championships, I believe, at Hell in a Cell.
That is correct.
We had Rusev Day versus the Usos versus Sanity. And who's the winner is Rusev Day. I'm really happy to see Rusev getting a little bit of a pushback.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, he needed something to do after.
Scully,
Yeah.
there is also a joke about SmackDown Live.
Okay.
What does The Miz in 2011 and The Miz in 2018 have in common?
R-Truth.
In the main event. R-Truth was in the main event, baby.
Now, of course, after the the triple threat tag team match, they flashed to backstage.
Now, R-Truth has been on a little tirade recently about how he wants to get relevant with Ty Dillinger, and by doing so, he has to pin Carmella. So he was looking for Carmella, and he bumped into who? Not Carmella, but the other Carmella, Maurice. It was an R-Truth segment. If you guys,
It was an R-Truth segment.
if
but
you guys know how
yeah.
the B team is, R-Truth is the one-man B team where he just stumbles into things, including victories.
Yeah. When I was watching this match, I couldn't help but think that R-Truth used to be what Cody is now.
Cody.
NWA World Champion.
Yeah, Ron Killings, yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
still.
Because the truth has set him free. So we had a match. We had The Miz with Maurice in his corner because they came back from dinner early, unexpectedly after Daniel Bryan left. Unexpectedly. So he had Carmella because I don't know how they managed to put R-Truth and Carmella together after R-Truth wanting to pin Carmella.
Right.
But R-Truth had Carmella. The Miz had Maurice.
What it was that when R-Truth was talking to Maurice, because R-Truth thought that Maurice was Carmella.
And they said something about Staten
Island trash. And then R-Truth said to Carmella that Maurice said Staten Island trash. And
what? Anyways, we had a little hijinks from Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella leading to R-Truth getting the victory. Oh my God.
R-Truth beating The Miz in 2018 in the main event of SmackDown.
R-Truth. I don't know who's on your side up there, but yo, doesn't Road Dogg write SmackDown?
He does.
Didn't Road Dogg and R-Truth used to be a tag team when he was K-Quick?
That is true.
There's some shenanigans at play here. All right. We'll get to some more shenanigans after this commercial break.
Of course, coming up after this commercial break, we've got the Mae Young Classic, the
And-
second one. And of course, we've got another second edition of...
What's this? Mixed Match Challenge Season 2.
That's right. We're going to be running through not only the bracket for the Mae Young Classic, we're going to be running through the newly announced teams
Yes.
for the second edition of the Mixed Match Challenge. As well, there was something else that we were going to be talking about. It was more news on the Super Showdown, as well as Hell in a Cell and Evolution. You're listening to Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 107.9.
Hey, this is Bob Backlund. You're looking at Wrestling with Ideas.
Welcome back inside the CKDJ Studios right here for Wrestling with Ideas on CKDJ 1079, Ottawa's new music. Of course, we are going to have to wrap things up. Not right now because we've still got some stuff to talk about. First thing we've got, of course, I'm the music man, Colin Scully, and alongside me, the man with no excuses,
Jonathan Scoos. Yay!
You sound like you don't want to be here.
Oh, I do want to be here. I do want to be here because we're talking about something I'm personally interested in.
Right, of course, we are starting things off in this last segment here with the 2018 Mae Young Classic.
Mae Young? Isn't she that girl that gave birth to a hand once?
Mark Henry?
No, Mark Henry didn't give birth to the hand. Mae Young did.
Yeah, but Mark Henry's the father.
Mark Henry, you are the father. But we're going on to Mae Young. She gave birth to a hand, and now there's a classic named after her. And this is Mae Young Classic 2 Electric Boogaloo. I got a little pop out of my co-host here.
Oh, my God. All right. So, of course, this being the second Mae Young Classic, the first one had Shayna Baszler going over and beating Kairi Sane. Let's go through the bracket here.
Alrighty.
We've got, in the round of, there are 32 women competing in this one. We've got Miko Satomura facing Killer Kelly in the first round. We've got Ashley Rain, formerly known as Madison. We've got her against Mercedes Martinez. We've got Lacey Lane against someone who I know pretty well. We've got Vanessa Craven.
Hey, I've seen her name before. Doesn't she do stuff around here?
She does stuff around here. She's part of, well, in Toronto for Smash Wrestling, she's part of Malice alongside Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. She's also wrestling a lot on the scene in Montreal. She's the current Femme Fatale champion. She's going to be competing in Ottawa not only this coming Saturday, September the 8th? September the 8th and September the 15th.
Hey guys, if you guys want to see one of the participants from the Mae Young Classic in Vanessa Craven, you guys should come on down. You should also go on down because it'll be a really good time anyways.
Right, they're announcing a lot of matches for C4's Season 12 premiere, such as Kobe Durst. Kobe Durst is going to be there defending his C4 championship. Of course, that C4 coming off of Fighting Back 8, a very successful event, which had the likes there of Pinky Sanchez, Jeff Cobb.
Yes, big name right there, Pinky Sanchez and Jeff Cobb.
Right. Now,
but, of course, we can't get too distracted from our local love here. We got to talk about the Mae Young Classic. Where we left off, we had Vanessa Craven.
Yep, we've got Tanara Conti against Jessie Elaban. We got Toni Storm versus
I
Ginny.
am a Toni Storm fan. Like, I know I'm not that big of an indie guy, let alone indie females, but I do watch some Toni Storm stuff, and I am a fan of hers.
Right. Up next, we've got Rachel Evers versus one of the biggest stars on the Japanese women's wrestling scene, Hiroyu Matsumoto.
Oh, yes.
We got Mia Yim against Allison Kay. We got Caitlyn.
Caitlyn? She's back.
Yep. Against Kavita Devi. We've got Tegan Knox against Zatara.
I've seen her wrestle before, Tegan Knox. She's one feisty superstar.
She definitely is. We've got Isla Dawn against Nicole Matthews. Of
a
course,
Canadian.
The second, two Canadians.
2 Canadians out of 32.
Yep. We've got one of the 2 Australians.
Ray Ripley
against
MJ Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins. Yeah. And we've also got Casey Castarno and Reina Gonzalez, of course.
We've got new WWE signee Io Shirai against Zaya Brookside. We've got Zeuxis against Ariel Monroe. Deonna Purrazzo against Priscilla Kelly. And Karen Q against Zia Lee.
Yeah, Deonna Purrazzo is another one of those names that I sort of recognize while staring at this card.
She's been doing a lot of Ring of Honor stuff.
Ring of Honor stuff. I think she used to be a part of the Taz show as well.
She did.
Back when Taz had his radio show. I don't know if he still does. Don't come at me, Taz, please. I'm scared of you.
Now, I know it's early. Of course, the Mae Young Classic first round actually premieres tonight.
Oh.
At 8 p.m.
Ho, spoilers? Are we doing spoilers?
We're not doing spoilers.
No spoilers. Tune in and we'll catch you on the next episode with the results, perhaps.
Do we have any early predictions, though?
My early prediction is that...
who do we see in the final, John?
Who do we see in the final? Well, if I had to pick... Ooh. What's that New Japan wrestler there? The big one, the crazy one?
Io Shirai? Or?
Not New Japan. Yeah, Io Shirai.
Yeah, she's not big, but...
No, not her. The other one, then.
Hiroyu,
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you see her moving on.
Right.
I also wouldn't be surprised if you saw somebody like a little homegrown go a little further. Someone like Caitlyn or Lacey Lane, I think, is a little homegrown.
Yeah.
I think. Don't quote me on that. Maybe Toni Storm. She's been in the WWE before, too, so
I'm gonna
maybe
go-
she's a little homegrown.
What I'm going to tell you right now is that there are going to be wrestlers from 2 countries in the semifinal.
Yep.
And those 2 countries are going to be Australia and Japan.
Japan. Oh,
Yep.
sorry, America.
I don't know. Of course, next we've got more tag team stuff coming up. We've got the second edition of the Mixed Match Challenge returning on Tuesday, September 18th on Facebook Watch. Second season will feature 14 episodes airing at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each week after SmackDown Live.
I don't know how successful this was, but it must have been somewhat successful for them to do a second one. But I know that I watched a few of these for season 1, and it was very fun. Like it was just good, wholesome fun.
Yeah. Now let's go over the list of teams that
All
were
right.
announced.
From
we've got
Raw.
we've got the return of Team Little Big.
Little Big, Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss,
We've got
the Dominators, Bobby Lashley, and the Boss Time, Sasha Banks.
it's
Boss Time.
but
Guess what? They finally listened. They put Finn Balor and Bayley together. Thank you, WWE.
Now, a little plug here. If Finn Balor was on SmackDown, Finn Balor and Becky Lynch.
Nope.
Why?
Because Finn Balor and Bayley in that sweet, sweet NXT history.
Fair point there, yeah. Becky Lynch, though.
But NXT history. Remember when Finn Balor broke his little leg and he couldn't do the shows and he had that huggable Bayley do his entrance for him, and then when his leg was better, he did a Bayley entrance for the little boys and girls? You know, you can't beat that. Finn Balor and Bayley, they're so tightly knit. They know each other. They probably joke backstage all the time.
Yeah.
But what's no joke is the next team, the man, the Maharaja. Sorry, I butchered that. Jinder Mahal and the crazy one, Alicia Fox, are going to be a team. I'm excited to see Jinder Mahal in a mixed match challenge. I don't think he's going to last very long, but please spread Shanti to all of these teams.
Right. We've got Kevin Owens versus Natalia.
Not versus, with. They're
Right.
putting the Canadians together.
That's a good move.
They're putting the Canadians together. That's strong. That's
Right.
strong. SmackDown teams.
We've got the return of both The Miz and Asuka, and then Jimmy Uso and Naomi.
That's all right. I'm surprised to see Asuka. She's been quiet as of late.
Yeah, she just came back on Tuesday, actually.
Oh, that's good for her.
Yeah, she's back. She attacked... I can't remember who it was, but it was after the women's tag team match, I believe. Or
All
no,
right.
it was after the women's match. I think it was after the Naomi
Yes.
Peyton Royce
Yes.
match. We've got Rusev Day,
Rusev and Lana are back.
right? We've got WWE champion AJ Styles and SmackDown Women's champion Charlotte Flair. Now, this here is going to be very interesting, actually, I think.
I think so, but I think what's going to be even more interesting is the man who was just in the main event of SmackDown Live and was looking to pin Carmella. Carmella is tagging with R-Truth in this. Oh, my goodness.
I wonder if R-Truth is going to... Because you know how sometimes he comes out and thinking, yep, of course, we're going to talk about this later. We're going to talk about this later. But before we get on to Hell in a Cell and the Super Showdown, we've got to talk about... I honestly think that R-Truth is going to... I honestly think that R-Truth is going to forget that he's in a tag team match to try and pin Carmella. Sort of a la thing, like what he's been doing, because... The last time, I think it was in the Hell in a Cell, or the Elimination Chamber match back 2017.
Yep.
Where he came out, or the Royal Rumble, or whatever it was. Back when Kane was director of operations, whatever this was. And he goes, you're not even in the match, yada, yada, yada. So, are we taking any predictions for who wins the Mixed Match Challenge this time around, John?
Finn Balor and Bayley.
Right, I'm going to go with... Yeah, I can see that.
I think it's going to be Finn Balor and Bayley.
Right.
The more that I think about it, I think it's going to be Finn Balor and Bayley.
Right. Of course, we have to... Well, what would be... Because we've still got a good amount of time left. We've got about 10 minutes. So we are going to take a quick... One more commercial break. But when we come back, we are going to talk about the upcoming pay-per-views in the WWE. You're listening to Wrestling with Ideas right here on CKDJ 107.9.
Hey, this is Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Wrestling with Ideas.
back inside the CKDJ studios right here for Wrestling with Ideas on CKDJ 1079, Ottawa's new music. We are going to wrap things up now. Of course, I am the music man, Colin Scully, and alongside me,
I got 2 words for you. Suck it! It's the man with no excuses.
now we've got to talk about some upcoming pay-per-views. First up, we've got Hell in a Cell, which is scheduled to take place
In a cell.
on September 16th, 2018. Of course, September 16th is also a very interesting day in my point.
What's going on, Cully, on the 16th of September?
Right here on CKDJ 1079, your boy the Music Man is going to be making his hockey play-by-play commentary debut.
I promise I'll tune in if you never say ya boy ever again.
I will not. I made that mistake twice. That's the second time that I've made that mistake here. One time it was on air and my grandparents were listening and they called me on my phone and asked me, what the hell was that?
And you said, it's your boy.
Yeah. Next time someone calls me up, I'm just going to be like, Dunder Mifflin, this is Pam. That's, of course, an office reference. But moving back to WWE, we've got Hell in a Cell on the 16th. First match announced, we've got Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice in a mixed tag match. John, who wins this match here?
I think it's a bit early to tell. We got a Raw and a SmackDown to watch before we get there. You know me, I can't make my predictions until all the SmackDowns are laid out in front of me. We got another week. I can't pick.
All right, so we won't do predictions, but
we'll run down the card on the matches so you can have your predictions for us if you would care to tweet at them or post on Facebook and all that fun stuff.
Right. We are actually on Snapchat as well now.
We're snapping the chats.
Right. So you can add us on Snapchat at Wrestling Capital W Ideas. Of course, the next match at Hell in a Cell is AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe! Numbers don't lie. In a Hell in a Cell, you drastic go down. Largest arms in the world. Next match, we got Big E and Kofi versus to be determined. Could be Sheamus and Cesaro.
Could be Rusev Day.
Could be Rusev Day. Tune in to find out.
Right. We've got Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman in a Hell in a Cell match.
Also, on the side note, while we're talking about Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, if you guys are listening, pop open your phones, grab your laptops and all devices connected to the internet, and look up the poster for the 2018 Hell in a Cell. Just look at the poster and try not to laugh. If you guys heard me laughing the last segment, you know why now.
Right.
But no laughing matter is the next match.
We've got Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship.
Somebody's going to lose their arms.
And
Somebody is going to lose their arms. I'm calling it right now.
Somebody's going to lose their arm. Somebody's going to lose their leg. Somebody is going to lose their head in this next Hell in a Cell match, and that man is going to be Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy is how old right now? He is 41. Jeff Hardy is 41 years old, and he's competing in a Hell in a Cell match after 20 fucking years.
Yeah, but how old is Randy Orton? Because he's also up there.
Randy Orton's 38, so he's a little younger.
Exactly.
But I feel like Randy Orton's better conditioned to be in a Hell in a Cell match than Jeff Hardy.
I think he's going to be Jeff's hurting, Randy's slow. But if the cell adds the element it should, it's going to be a dope match.
Yep. Of course, the last announced match as of today, we've got Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Suck it, Carmella.
Yeah.
For all of those fans who didn't like Carmella.
Right. Which I didn't. So I'm not that mad. But of course, on October the 6th, we've got I don't think they're going to add many more matches to this.
Yeah, we won't be doing predictions yet, but also if you want to come at us with some ideas that you have for predictions, we're going to run down the Australia Super Show. The Australia Super Show, because I'm the Iconics and I'm from Australia. No, we're going to have Undertaker versus Triple H. This is a big one, folks.
We've got John Cena and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Elias.
Ugh, why?
In a match that almost seems like, hey, it'll draw, just like Triple H and John Cena will draw.
No predictions, but when you watch this match, look for John Cena's new 6th move of doom.
The Lightning Fist of Doom.
The Lightning Fist of Doom. And then we've got a super cool match. It's determined what's going to happen with it, but it's Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
For the number one contendership.
Could change. This is in October. The card is subject to change, folks.
Right. We've got The Shield versus the Pack.
With the Pack, of course, consisting of Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre.
You're not actually Scottish, so I don't think it'll be good for you to start doing the accent.
It's Drew.
Drew
And then we've got Ronda Rousey with the Bella Twins. Puke.
versus the Riot Squad.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to win that match. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe again, which, I mean, fight forever.
Right, we've got probably one of the matches that I'm the most excited for. We've got Cedric Alexander versus the Australian Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy is excellent. I'm glad to see him get his title shot.
He's going to win this match because it's in Australia, let's face it. Come on.
Ooh, but he's the heel.
But yeah,
Do you think he's really going to... Oh, that'd be cool.
he's in Australia.
It's Bizarro World, Michael Cole. But what isn't Bizarro World is that we've seemed to have a New Day match versus The Bar. Maybe that'll lead a spoiler into this
But then
tag team
again,
tournament.
the
But
card is subject to change.
card is subject to change.
Of course.
Speaking of tag team matches, we've got...
Asuka and Naomi in a strange pairing against the second set of Australians on this match card here.
Naomi Shoes.
No.
Naomi Shoes.
We've got...
The Iconics.
Yep.
Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, also from Australia. Don't be surprised if they go over, but come on, Asuka needs that W.
Right. Of
Charlotte
course.
Flair versus Becky Lynch as well for the title. Card is subject to change.
Right. And last but not least, we don't really have much to talk about concerning Evolution, but we will go again and announce the 3 matches that have been already announced.
Lots
We've
of
got the
nostalgia.
final of the Mae Young Classic that's going to be happening on October 28th. We've also got Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus and Lita versus Mickie James.
Wow. It says here that Lita and Mickie James have not had a match against each other since the 2006 Survivor Series. That is a cool factoid. What is that, like? That's over 12 years later? No, not 12.
Yeah, just under 12 years. Just under 12, 2006, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it'll be like a year and 11 months or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be intense, folks.
Is it really?
Lita?
What's going to be more intense, Lita versus Mickie James or The Undertaker versus Triple H?
Oh, The Undertaker versus Triple H. No questions asked. If you said Ronda Rousey, I would have said Ronda Rousey.
I don't know.
She'll be at Evolution, probably.
Yep, and with that, we do have to bring things to a close here. John, do you have any closing statements?
My closing statement is that Vince McMahon, I would like to be hired for creative. If you're listening. And if you're listening, oh my God, Vince McMahon is listening to our show.
And Vince, if you need a replacement ring announcer for Greg Hamilton, call me up.
I also do a Mean Howard Finkel, Vince. If you'd like to phone me and discuss the possibilities of being a ring announcer, thank you for tuning in to Wrestling with Ideas.
You can follow me on Twitter at ColinTMM. You can follow John on Twitter at No Excuse. For those of you who can't figure out how to spell that, because this is on the radio, that is capital N, lowercase o, capital E, lowercase x, capital S, lowercase k, U, C, E. You can all follow us on Twitter at Wrestling Capital W Ideas. You can follow us on Snapchat at Wrestling Capital W Ideas. You can like us on Facebook at Wrestling with Ideas. You can listen to everything that we've ever done on Wrestling with Ideas at wrestlingwithideas.podbean.com. I've been your host, Colin the Music Man Scully, John Skuse, the man with no excuses.
Samoa Joe, numbers don't lie, and at Sacrifice, they spell disaster.
Thank you guys for listening, and have a good one.